episode of the Collectani of Everything. I'm your host, Hamish Skelton.
And I'm Jasher Drake.
And we pause for a second.
Yeah, I was thinking of something cool to say, but then just go to the classic. We're both pretty tired.
Extremely tired.
It's been a long week, which has been weird because it's been a short week for us in New Zealand. And we've got a short week next week, but I don't know. I'm still just wrecked.
Yeah, I'll try not to yawn lots, but I probably will. So what are we talking about this week? Well, this episode.
Yeah, so this episode we rolled a dice last episode, our new topic picking method, and we actually got one that one of our listeners sent in. I think RHS Jack sent it in, and it was what were any fanboy moments, or I guess encounters we've had with people we look up to, or celebrities, or just I guess that's what it means. So yeah. I've got a few. They're all pretty lame.
I've got a few less, and they're probably worse.
I don't think you're going to know majority of the people that I'm going to talk about having met before or interacted with.
Well, the thing is I haven't really had any fanboy moments. I haven't really met any celebrities or anything like that.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Yeah.
Most of mine are relatives of mine who have met, brothers and sisters who have met famous people, and me being really jealous about it.
Yeah, no, that sounds cool. I don't think any...
And they're all basically at Armageddon.
Yeah, half of mine are at Armageddon or online, so...
You've actually had a few, haven't you?
Yeah, but I think I've been to Armageddon more times than you have. I think that's the only reason.
Yeah. No, but you've had... Didn't you have I just remember hearing something about you emailing someone famous or something.
There's been a few. How should we do this? Should we just
I guess it should start with one of us.
Yeah, I think you're hosting this episode as we agreed. I hosted the last one, you're hosting this one.
Yeah, well, let's start with me because I probably got the most disappointing. Well, I think to start off the bat, you know this, we were talking about it just on the weekend.
Yeah.
My wife has,
that's right.
She got one of her tweets tagged by, what was it?
Is that the ice cream truck?
No, it's just
something
horrible happening outside.
Yeah. Never mind. Your wife got something favourite on Twitter.
We're actually in a pretty good neighbourhood.
Yeah.
Why there's a lot of sirens out there at the moment. She got one of her tweets favorited by Adam Young, or Our City.
That's pretty cool.
Which is, I guess it's not that big of a deal, but for me it is.
Yeah.
Because, I don't know, I'm a huge Our City fan.
Yeah. We both were. That's what we listened to that. That was our school music we'd listen to. I'm not making much sense. That's the music that we listened to at school. That's we're both into it. It's awesome. Yeah. You probably I haven't listened to it in ages. When we went for a road trip this last weekend, that was probably the first time I listened to it in the car in a year probably.
Yeah. But he's still my favourite artist. I don't listen to him as much as I used to, but it's definitely
yeah.
I don't know.
And what was the tweet?
I can't actually remember. I think it was a I can't remember exactly what it was. So it was I don't know, use Twitter that often. So it wasn't a proper tweet. It was a
retweet.
No, it was a
quote.
Basically a comment on his tweet.
Yeah,
it was favorited. So what is that called?
Comment. I think.
I didn't think it was. I don't know.
She did a reply to his tweet.
Yeah. I always used to think Twitter was for older people, old people, and now I feel like an old person because I don't know how it works.
I think it's just a reply or a comment. Surely.
Yeah, basically. So he apparently tweeted a quote from Emperor's New Groove.
The Disney movie. Yeah.
Yeah. Is it Yzma? Is that her name? That is her name, eh?
The purple, witch chick?
Yeah. It was the quote of her order in the restaurant during that scene in the first movie.
Yeah.
Where she was, ordering food.
Mm-hmm.
And then Kronk repeats the order, but wrong somehow, I think. It was, mixed up. Anyway, he did the first part of it, Yzma's quote, and then Abby responded in the comments with the second part, and apparently he favorited it.
That's cool.
So it's not that big of a deal. It's really, I don't know. I feel people get there. There's probably heaps of people who have had tweets favorited by famous people, but
I mean, for us, Our City.
Yeah,
that's pretty.
That's the main thing is who it was.
Yeah.
I'm super jealous.
We're Hoot Owls, right? Hoot Owls, that's his fan club?
Is that what his fan
I
club
don't know.
is?
I don't know.
I've never gone, like, I'm a huge fan, but I've never gone, like...
You ever jumped into the community?
I've never jumped into any kind of community for it, no. That's just me wrecking the table.
Yeah, I've already spilt my coffee as well. This isn't...
We're on, like, a really rickety little old...
It's good, though.
...cards table. Anyway, so that's my first of, like, 4.
Okay.
The others... I'm not super good with names, so I've had to write everyone's down. The other 3 fanboy moments were my brother getting to go to Armageddon one year.
And that would have been a while ago, wasn't it? Or
I think it was.
like before we started going?
I don't know. I think it might have been.
Yeah.
Or maybe I could have gone. I don't. Maybe I did go that year. I don't know. But like he got to... Well, he had enough money that year, and I didn't, to go and, like, you know, where they bring celebrities each year.
Yeah.
And he got, like, a photograph signed by Richard Dean Anderson.
I know who that is.
You do?
He's MacGyver, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yes. I'm just making sure I get these names in the right order. As I said, I'm really bad with names. I know who it is. I'm a big fan. I just... haven't, which makes it sound like I'm not a big fan.
I wrote down some of mine as well. It's like, I like the character, but...
Yeah.
So Richard Dean Anderson...
And I'm like really nervous about mixing these up or mispronouncing. The next one I'm going to mispronounce. But anyway, I like him from... Well, I know him from as MacGyver and...
Your family's super into Stargate.
Yeah, we're super into Stargate. So that was the main thing. He went there and my sister got my brother to get a picture signed for her.
That's cool. Yeah.
And I didn't have enough money to do it.
And he didn't just buy a signed picture. He just he went up and met him and...
Yeah,
that's cool. Yeah.
We went over, but I think it was near the end of the day and he was like, just made it. But yeah. So that's awesome. I'm pretty jealous about that as well.
Yeah. They haven't had like many big actors in ages, so that's pretty... I guess he's not big nowadays, but certain things.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think he's...
I guess we won't get any more in a while with COVID and...
Yeah.
So...
Well, they had... didn't they have, like, people...
They had virtual guests last year. Yeah, I went and I didn't end up watching anything or talking to anyone because it was all virtual.
The other one is more, like, obscure, but it's still from Stargate. I didn't know his name.
Yeah.
So I had to search up again, but I also don't know how to pronounce it. Basically, it's the guy who plays Todd, if anyone's watched Stargate Atlantis. He also appears in Stargate Issue 1 as, like, random characters, like, you know, NPCs. I guess that doesn't really apply to this. But he shows up as random characters at different planets and stuff. But in Stargate... And he played a minor role at the beginning of Stargate Atlantis, and then he played a wraith in Stargate Atlantis, a recurring wraith.
Yeah.
It was like the best.
Yeah.
You don't know anything.
I have no clue what you're talking about. There's wraiths in Stargate?
Yeah.
I've only seen like the 80s movie. It wasn't even...
They were super creepy. I used to find them like the scariest thing as a kid. So his name is Christopher Hayerday?
Christopher Hayerday.
I don't know how to pronounce it. I'm butchering it completely.
Yeah.
But again, my brother, the same brother, he got to meet him as well. I'm pretty sure it was at Armageddon. Like 100%. That's the only comic convention thing that we have. Is it a comic convention?
I think, it's pop culture convention.
Pop culture convention, yeah. It's the only thing we have in New Zealand, basically. Oh, they have one in Wellington, don't they?
I think they have,
they have it twice.
It's called Armageddon Expo, and I think they have it... No, they have it Auckland, Wellington, Christchurch even.
Yeah.
Maybe a couple more places, but all over New Zealand.
The Auckland is the biggest one.
And it's our version of Comic-Con or any expo like that. It's all we get once a year.
Yeah. Haven't gone in a while.
Yeah.
We should go this year.
We should.
Anyway, you got to meet him, and I think the main thing I remember from that is my brother's name is Ronan, and this brother anyway. I've got a few.
Yeah.
And that's also the name of one of the main characters in Stargate
Yeah.
Atlantis. So, what's his name? Jason Momoa? Is that his name?
Yeah,
Is that how you
Aquaman.
pronounce it? Yeah, Aquaman. He plays Ronan in the
Oh,
show.
yeah.
But anyway, and then, so
Was he named? Was Ronan named after the character from Stargate Atlantis?
No, he wasn't. I think it's different spelling as well.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, Christopher was... Apparently he repeated his name to him afterwards because he recognised...
Yeah.
And like in his character's voice.
Oh, that's cool.
So, I don't know. I was pretty jealous about that, but
Yeah.
it wouldn't have happened to me because my name's not Ronan. But still, it was like, yeah. It's hard to explain because you don't know any of the characters or anything. And it's been a while for me watching the show.
Yeah. I'll do it one day, Hamish. I will.
Yeah.
After Avatar, after...
After all the other shows
Yeah,
you
yeah.
watch. And the other's Christopher Lloyd. I actually went in for this. This is the only one I've actually
I was
gone.
there as well. That's when
you were
we
there
went
as well. We didn't actually go and meet him, but we did go and see him
Watched his panel.
live. And
Yeah.
his panel, we went up and we just watched.
Yeah.
This is really lame, but like we're pretty cut off from the rest of the world, so I guess we don't see a lot of
So,
celebrities.
someone like Doc Brown from Back to the Future comes.
Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
that's pretty cool.
Because I know him from...
You didn't ever watch Back to the Future, did you?
I hadn't before he'd been there. The only thing I'd seen him in... Yeah, I watched Back to the Future way too late.
Did you even appreciate it then when you saw him?
I knew him from the movie Clue, which is like a movie made of the Cluedo board game, which is like really funny, really old school. It's a really good movie. But like when he came up, I was like, hey, it's Professor Plum from Clue. And you guys are all like, Back to the Future?
Yeah.
But that was cool.
It was
I remember
cool.
that.
So yeah, that's basically all. That's it for me.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah. Like anything else, it just gets further and further away from like actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the closest thing to like a random. Oh, there's another one, but I didn't look up the name of the person so I don't know them. But my sister saw in a shop. What's her name? She's a Kiwi actress. So I should know her name, but the lady who was in Thor Ragnarok, who like played.
Yeah, she's in heaps of like Taika Waititi stuff.
Yeah.
I
He
forgot
brings
her
her
name
into
as well.
heaps of his movies.
I should know it. Yeah. That's cool. So she just saw her like normally.
I don't know her name, but like it's not. It's because I'm really bad with names.
Yeah.
Like
Because we've had like random stuff like that. Like I think Chris Hemsworth,
Yeah.
Thor himself, he was in Fungaday at like one of our bookstores here because he heard it was good.
Yeah.
Just had it. Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
He went through. Yeah, it was the piggery or something. He
Yeah.
went through it.
While they were filming Thor Ragnarok, he just came and
Yeah.
it's not even a great bookstore. Like it's cool,
It's okay.
but I don't know why he'd be like, "Oh, New Zealand, I have to go to the piggery."
I think they were just going through.
Oh, he's just
For something.
a book collector or an avid reader or something.
I don't know. Apparently, he looked at one of the Lord of the Rings copies that they had in there.
That's pretty cool. You also, am I remembering it correctly that your mum had like an extra role in the King Kong movie?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
She did. Like extra.
Like you can't see her, but she
well,
was
like
there.
you could. We actually used to each time we watched it, we were like, cause, being I don't know when it came out. I was probably like 13, 12.
Yeah.
I don't know. Actually, I would have been younger than that when they.
Yeah,
How old was that
I think it was
movie?
early 2000s.
Crap. Oh man.
There you go. You've met your mum though.
But yeah, I've met my mum,
in King.
and she's played in King Kong.
Yeah, that's good. There
Yeah.
you go.
I don't think she met Peter Jackson though.
Oh, that sucks. But I guess you wouldn't.
Yeah.
She probably heard him.
Yeah, maybe. But so basically she, at the end of the movie, she played one of the extras in the crowd that was, I think it was watching King Kong. Like, when they brought him out, it's been a while since I watched it, but I'm pretty sure they brought him out on the stage at one point.
He's out,
At the end. And I think she was one of the extras when he breaks loose, running out of the building. She was one of the extras in that.
That's cool.
So, like, you can just spot her.
Yeah, that's awesome.
My mum has to, like, point it out. So.
Yeah. That's pretty cool, though.
It is cool being it, but oh
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
So yeah, as you said, I've met my mum. So
Yeah, there you go. That's beats all mine. She's in King Kong. None of mine are like amazing. Majority of mine were from Armageddon as well. So I was super into, you know this. I was super into Lost through school, the TV show. Like,
Yeah.
loved Lost. It was probably the first show that I really got into. No one else I knew was really into it all that much. I just watched the whole thing. Like, throughout the holidays, I'd just watch a couple episodes every day. Probably more than that. And it was just like this awesome thing.
I remember that.
Was I obsessed with it?
Yeah, a little bit. Because I remember, because I had watched it before you.
Yeah.
I watched almost all of it. My family was watching it as it was coming out.
Yeah.
And my whole family got turned against it because they didn't like the direction it was going. Well, basically, it just felt like it was my family's opinion.
Yeah.
And I guess mine at the time as well. I kind of still feel the same way. But it sort of just felt like they were making it up as they were going along. And I guess as I've figured since then that the show is a lot better to watch the entire thing, binge watching it, and just watching it all together.
Then hyping it up for a year.
Hyping it up for a year and watch it, because I don't think... I don't know. I think you're less disappointed with the whole thing if you watched all in one go. But we were getting to the point where we were just like, I don't know, I think we got to like 5th season. How many seasons?
I think it's 6, yeah.
And we were just like, this is disappointing. Like the way it was going. Because I guess you build up theories over the years watching it, that you're like, oh, what's causing all this? What's happening? You know, who are the others and all that sort of stuff? And you just sort of start watching it and you're just like, what the heck? yeah. I don't know.
And I didn't know about it before watching it, so I just went into it and was like, this is cool.
And I still remember when you messaged me and you were like, have you guys watched Lost? And I was just like, no, I'm not watching that.
You have to watch it. It's coming out on Disney Plus soon.
Yeah, I probably will, actually.
I might actually rewatch it.
Like,
it's good, and it is. There was a lot of things like unanswered, like that. I think that put a lot of people off it.
And the first 3 seasons were like so good.
So good. My favorite season's the 5th one.
Really? My favourite season's probably the 3rd.
That's one you never got through.
I don't know. I think it's just, it got a lot of hate for its last 2 seasons.
And it might have put a lot of people off it. Was that a machine gun or a bike?
There's no machine guns there.
This neighbourhood, I swear, Hamish.
It's a loud bike. It's a loud bike. Boink.
But
that weird. I'm sorry about the sound quality today, guys.
No, it's all
We're
good.
doing it at my house again.
What was I even talking about? I was talking about Lost. So the first Armageddon I went to, Armageddon again.
Yeah. Sorry, I just led you off on the whole.
No, I led myself off thinking about how good Lost was. What am I even talking about? Went to Armageddon with a group of friends. I think you might have been there. Maybe not. Maybe it was a year. I went with a group of friends before you'd even come to school and we'd met. But we went to Armageddon.
I don't think so. I think you started watching it after.
Yeah, possibly.
Pretty sure it was like
maybe
the
just
summer after year 10.
Yeah.
I think is when you discovered Lost.
Yeah. I went to Armageddon, and there was this like side character from Lost, Mira Furlan, I think her name is, who played Danielle Rousseau, who's this woman who's been surviving on the island that they all meet. We went to Armageddon. I saw she was doing a little panel, and I tried to get like all my friends to come. None of them were interested, so I ended up going there alone. And she was like in a small room, and there's honestly only like 10 of us. But that was real cool. Like she talked to us all. I like shook her hand. I should have gotten a photo or something, but that was cool. That was like the first experience. I was like, yes, Lost is awesome. Just met someone from Lost, and that was cool. I think she might have passed away a couple months ago, which is a bit sad.
Yeah, I was about to point that out.
Yeah.
I remember hearing something about that. I haven't looked up the details on it or anything, but I just remember seeing like an article headline about it, and I was just like,
But she was awesome. She was so cool and so like passionate about what she worked on, because I think she did Lost and she did another sci-fi show, but she was real passionate about them. She just loved talking to us as fans, which was just a cool experience.
I wouldn't say that her character was a super side character.
Yeah.
She played it a big
Not one of the main ones, but she was reoccurring.
So basically her character, spoilers, was like a survivor on the island who set out a signal. And it was like a really big mystery and part of the I think it was
first or second season, or
was it the second or third?
I gotta watch it again.
But it was like this. They picked up this radio signal while they're on the island of this French lady who was talking, and they were trying to figure out what she was saying.
Big mystery, what the French was.
And then they managed to figure out. I can't remember how they figured out where she was, but then they found her, and she was like the only other survivor on the island, or sign of of other people surviving, basically, that they had seen other than the others, which
Yeah.
they didn't know much about at that point, I don't think.
Yeah. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
That was awesome. That
And
a
she
real
was
good
like,
memory.
she was, I wouldn't say she was a side character. She was a main character throughout it.
Yeah.
I'm
You're
pretty
right.
sure since that
I'm
point.
understating it.
Yeah. She was reoccurring throughout the whole show. They
Yeah.
went to her for help for things and stuff like that.
Yeah. That was cool. That was really cool. I guess another couple of my first-hand ones are from Armageddon as well. So a couple of years ago, we went down, didn't look like anyone, any celebrities or anyone that I knew was really going to be there. And then all of a sudden, on the day, it was announced over the loudspeaker that Rhys Darby had showed up. And he was selling copies of his book.
Of course, he would just show up on the fly like that.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. But he was like selling and signing copies of his new kids' book that he had just written, and it was like, if anyone buys his book and goes and meets him here, you can get like a photo with him. So I went and I bought a kids' book, one of Rhys Darby's kids' book. I've never touched it, never read it, but I went and met him with my family, and he signed it and got a photo, and that's pretty cool because I'm a massive Flight of the Conchords fan. I guess it's kind of cliche for us being in New Zealand.
Yeah.
I'm a massive Flight of the Conchords fan, but he's been in heaps now, and he's a real funny guy.
Yeah.
And real cool. So I got a photo of Rhys Darby, and then the year after that, we went again, and this time it did say it was coming, but I met John Heder, who plays Napoleon Dynamite, and when I got a photo with him, met him, had a chat with him. I told him I liked him in the Dungeons and Dragons show Critical Role, which I think hit him by left field because he was like, who watches that? But
Yeah.
he was a guest star for a couple of episodes, and that was real awesome as well. So I think Rhys Darby and John Heder are like the biggest celebrities that I've like had a conversation with and met and got photos with. So that was pretty cool. Besides from that, I think it's majority of like online interactions. But back at school when I was really into reading, I'd use Goodreads a lot, which is just logging your books, doing quick reviews, rating them. And I bought a book just on a whim on Kindle, a historical book called The Fifth Night. And I just bought it, read it, loved it, did a review, and then the author Ian Powell was actually quite like she would use Goodreads herself quite a lot and answer questions and respond to reviews and stuff. And I don't exactly remember how it happened, but we just got chatting on there. She eventually sent me a copy of her book signed with like a personalized message, and we've been emailing. And she's gotten quite a fan base now, and she's released heaps of books. She's quite high in like the Amazon charts and on Kindle especially. And every book that she's made sure to send me a signed copy. Never asked for anything, and just says that she's loved having me as a fan since I was a kid. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. You've actually gotten me into reading. Well, I've just borrowed.
Yeah, I got you to borrow it on the weekend. So
Yeah, I've started it, but it's hard to find time to read.
Yeah.
These days. But I am I'm focused on finishing this
Nice.
one.
It's pretty.
And I'm enjoying it so far.
It's pretty cool because it's based like on historical things that have happened, or I think it's.
I don't want to say too much because I think when I finish reading them, we should.
Let's do an
probably
episode on the Fifth Night
reckon.
series. Let's get Ian Powell in. Let's have a chat with him. We'll see what happens. I guess another one from Goodreads. One day, a random guy was just asking for people to just read a copy of his book that he'd just written. Was wanting any feedback. Called Leonard Muckles. I think he lived in Canada. Or I might be getting that wrong. It might just be the US. But I reached out, said I'd be super happy to read it. Read his book, loved it. It's an awesome book. I think it's called Sefalin and Azaroth, and it's just this real high fantasy swords and sorcery novel. And I just loved it. And I don't think many people read it. And he's a real understated author. He's released like a book called The Bad Canadian, which is like a mystery in a small town. He must be Canadian. But a mystery in a small town of this guy with like this, I think it's this police investigator or detective who used to be in one of the world wars, and he has this real scarred up face. And it's just, they're real good books. And I helped him edit The Bad Canadian before he released it. Gave some suggestions, and we've reached out ever since. We've been, I helped him do a few bits and pieces for a board game he's trying to get out and get funded. And we just catch up all the time, which is real cool. And he's not really well known, but it was just real cool for me because, I don't know, I was a big fan of his. I loved his writing. It's just pretty cool still having that personal connection. You guys should check out Leonard Muckles because he's done some awesome stuff. And Ian Powell. Yeah. Because they're real cool.
I've had one thing not the only thing, closest thing to that I've had.
Yeah.
I should say. Was on Goodreads as well, where I can't remember the author's name, but it was a book that I read most of. I don't do a lot of reading. I'm really slow at reading.
Yeah.
I think it's just that I get easily distracted when I'm reading, and so if I get in the zone with reading, I can read like non-stop and get a book. Like I think the fastest I've done is like a book done in a day, but it was like a.
Yeah, I used to do that back in the day as well.
Which isn't that impressive for some people, but for me that was like, whew. And then I think I got like a trilogy done in a week, which, yeah, again, for someone who doesn't read and is slow at reading, that's a big accomplishment.
Yeah,
I think,
absolutely.
for me. But if I don't get in the zone, it will take me forever, and I'll reread over paragraphs and stuff because I'm reading and then I realize that I'm distracted by something and I'm like, oh crap, what do I? Yeah.
I found especially if you like don't really have much time and you just say like I'm going to start reading a chapter and maybe you don't even make it the whole way through the chapter and you have to pick up and reread. And,
So that slows me down, and the fact that I don't know. I think it's because I don't have enough practice with reading, and so I end up essentially while I'm reading, I'm mouthing every single word.
Oh yeah.
And so I can't read faster than I would read out loud, essentially.
Yeah.
Well, I think I can when I start zoning into it.
Yeah.
But if I'm not, I have to do that to sort of make sure that I'm reading. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really sad because I love like stories. I love books in general, and I do actually love reading. But anyway, so it was this book. It was part of a series. I think it's called.
Is it the Immortals?
No, it
was
was
the Eternals.
The Inferior.
The Inferiors. I always get it wrong, but I always remember you talking about it.
I think it's the Inferiors or Inferiors. I can't remember, or Inferior.
Yeah.
I have to. It's a real like I don't know much about like the fan base or the author or anything like that.
You reread it recently, didn't you?
Yeah, I've finished it now. Yeah. Finally, after years. The issue was I saw it in a small town library.
Yeah.
I borrowed it, read about 3/4 of the way through before I ran out of time, had to take it back. Didn't re-borrow it for a while, and then when I did want to re-borrow it to finish it, it wasn't there anymore, and I got rid of it. I think it was a new book at the time, but then it quickly stopped being printed, I think. I think they stopped printing them, and I guess people didn't really want to hire it. I don't know why. But he's written a couple, I think it's like 3 books in the same world. Because I'm pretty sure there's at least 2 books with the same story, but I think there's a third one in the same world. It's really interesting. It's like I can't remember his name.
That's true. We'll chuck it on the show notes.
It's a really interesting name, but I can't remember it. But yeah, I messaged him randomly. I think it was.
Was it on Goodreads as well?
It was on Goodreads, and I remember I wasn't taking it very seriously because I remember we were like, I don't know, how old were we? We were like 14, 15.
Yeah.
I think I might have asked him something really random, and he responded, and I wasn't expecting him to.
Was it like,
what's your favourite idea from...
Wait, did you ask him what's your favourite idea?
No, was it what's your favourite colour or something? But I remember because we thought it was hilarious because it was from Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared.
It's like a YouTube comedy series you were super into.
Yeah.
You asked him that?
I think so, something like that, and I didn't expect him to respond. I think we were just doing it as a joke because we thought that was hilarious.
Yeah.
And he responded, I think. I think it was that, or I hope it was that way. And then I seriously answered, but I think there was a chance that it was the other way around, where I asked him a serious question and he responded, and then I asked him a random stupid question
in the hopes he didn't respond to that one. That's funny.
But he did.
Yeah.
I think it was what's your favorite color or something.
Yeah.
But anyway, what did I ask him? Oh, I was just basically asking him. Because I was saying I couldn't find it in his book in any of your libraries and stuff like that, and if he knew anywhere that I could get it. And I think I was kind of hoping he would like hook me up with a book.
Because I'd got it in a book from one of them.
Yeah, but no, I don't think he did. But he was like super super cool about it. He just just told me that they weren't out of print. I think he may have told me a place to buy it from or something like that. I can't remember, but yeah, I could look it up actually. It's pretty obscure, I feel like. It's essentially about...
the majority of the people we've talked about are quite obscure.
The thing is that I didn't appreciate that at the time, that I had an author responding to me.
Yeah.
Which I, like, another thing is, like, it's super gutting that it, like, underappreciated sort of fanboy moment. I should have should have been more cool.
Who knows? He might have checked out Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared after that. And...
Probably not. I'll just see if it...
I guess that's pretty much all for me. Oh, there was one recently, because I've talked about Letterboxd before, but that's what I use to just rate all the movies that I've been watching. And my most watched director last year was a guy called Jim Cummings, who's just made a few movies. He made a short film that got made into a feature film called Thunder Road, which is this real awesome comedy, but it's quite a hard-hitting one. Then last year he released like this werewolf movie called The Wolf of Snow Hollow, which was like my favourite film that came out last year. And he's just done heaps of short films. So when I discovered him and watched The Wolf of Snow Hollow, I went and watched all his stuff. And then because of all the short films I watched of his, he became my most watched director from last year. And I just shared that on my Instagram, just being like, hey, I watched this many movies this year. Nick Cage was my most watched actor. Jim Cummings was my most watched director. And then it was real cool because he responded and he was like, hey, you just made my day, or something along those lines. You're like a pen pal now, or something like that. And we've chatted just random times since. I told him about like how much I like this movie. It's just the cliche things to say, but then I was like, this has really got me thinking about just potentially making my own short films and seeing where I'm going to, or devoting a bit more time to that, which is what he did, and he got his films made. And I don't know, it was real encouraging. That's just a real cool.
Yeah.
One of my favourite directors. I've got this I'm on his pen pals now. There we go. But I guess besides from that, that's everyone. And your mum from King Kong.
Yeah, you've met my mum. Yeah. I brought it up. So The Inferior, it's written in 2007. Yeah, so that was a while ago. It wouldn't have been new then. I doubt it would have been new. I hope I'm pronouncing this right. It's Peter O'Gulin? How would you pronounce that?
Whoa. He's Irish. It's a real Irish name. Peter O'Gulin.
I feel like that's probably wrong.
Peter. It's probably just a Peter.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. I need to read that Inferior though. I've heard so much about it. I need to.
We've heard so much about it from me.
Yeah.
And my mum liked it. She read it as well.
Wait, you're telling me an actress in King Kong loved The Inferior? Yeah. I'm reading it now. Done.
I still got to buy the second one though. I didn't read through that.
Yeah.
So it's an incomplete series that we're...
Yeah.
It's taken me so long to read the first one though. But from what I've gathered from the first book, because you don't really gauge much from... Well, I mean, you gain a lot, but it's like, I don't know, it's sort of like a sci-fi, but it's set. You're seeing everything through these humans who are they're sort of like cavemen almost. They're not tech savvy at all, and they're on this world that's like ruined and overgrown. It looked like from the descriptions, it seems like it's like a more modern city or futuristic city, even with big skyscrapers and stuff like that. But it's all just like post-apocalyptic. It's all run down and overgrown, and it's this tribe of humans who are trying to survive, while there's also all these other tribes of all these like monstrous things that all these different like races, I guess, of these like alien things, monsters. They seem like a lot of the descriptions, and none of them know how to speak to any of them. So there's no communication between any of the groups. And they're all basically cannibals, and they eat each other, and it's pretty gruesome. The story, but it's interesting because you're seeing it through this perspective of the main character of the tribe, who's the main character who's in the tribe. And because of that, it takes the whole book to sort of start picking up the fact that, well, halfway through the book roughly, that this obviously seems like it's in like some kind of simulation, like it's not a real world, and it seems like it's interesting. It seems like
I'll read it. I'm gonna read it.
It seems like it's in like some big like laboratory dome almost. Almost like a Hunger Games sort of dome situation where everything seems to be sort of controlled and manipulated. And I think you sort of start to figure out near the end that there's this like big spaceship things floating around in the sky.
Oh, flip! Don't spoil it.
I'm sorry. I just realised.
What the heck?
No, you picked that up pretty quick actually.
All right.
They call them spheres, but you sort of don't really realize exactly what they are.
Yeah.
You just know that they're metallic and floating
I
about.
did flying object.
But yeah, anyway, it is actually kind of
No, we'll read it. That sounds cool.
But yeah.
Well, there we go. There's our fanboy moment.
Yeah.
Not many big ones.
Not really.
I guess pretty cool connections. Especially,
Yeah.
but pretty cool. I don't know. It's pretty cool to meet someone and then realize that they're kind of just people too, I guess.
It seems really fairly easy-ish to make connections and actually talk with like authors and stuff.
Especially with like social
when it
media
comes to
and
like
stuff.
when it comes to like celebrities and things like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. If you're ever wanting like I don't know. It seems like if you're ever wanting to be like friends with a famous person, you should really be nice to authors.
There you go.
Try and communicate with them before, like while they're small.
Yeah, exactly. And I guess even with the Jim Cummings, the director that I had a chat to recently, it's I guess if you support people's stuff and just be a bit vocal about it, people just love support and just love hearing what you think of their stuff and just love I don't know, having people appreciate it, which is pretty cool.
I'm really gutted that I didn't take that encounter.
Reach out to him now. The second
I don't
line
go on
in that,
Goodreads anymore.
Don't have me scared. Your Goodreads got like hacked or something.
I don't know what it was. It was weird.
You just got heaps of random. It was kind of my feed, and it was just like heaps of random people Hamish just started following.
Yeah.
That you didn't know.
And that I didn't know at all.
That's funny.
It was weird. I had to delete my account because I couldn't figure out, and I was like not invested in it at all because I never used it. So I was just like, someone's hacked it, obviously. So I'll just delete it.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, I might have to see if I can get it up and running again.
Yeah, do it.
But I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
We don't. Yeah, as I said earlier, we're in New Zealand and it's kind of cut off.
Yeah.
And especially now.
Yeah.
And we don't get a lot of opportunity to meet celebrities, so it's not a huge amount of fanboy moments.
Yeah.
We've got to roll.
Oh, we do got to roll.
Yeah. And I think that's my job.
I think it is your job this time.
I'm the host.
Yeah, you're the host for this episode. This was Hamish's episode, guys. So any feedback, just give it straight to him.
Hold up.
I guess what did we do this week, Teal? We hung out on the holiday. We went to the lakes. We watched a movie together for the first time, and I just watched Tremors.
Yeah.
Old school 80s, like monsters living under the ground. I liked it. I don't think you liked it. But it was good.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, like, I enjoyed the
Let's do Tremors episode. Let's marathon the whole film series.
I enjoyed the experience, but it was a really B-grade film.
It was just a rootin', tootin', graboid shooting good time. It was great.
Is that, like, prepared before
That is my letterbox review. I'm reusing my own material.
Oh, okay.
Yep, so get ready for Tremors episode coming up, guys.
Okay. So, you
got
the list up?
Let me just quickly add Tremors.
Oh, can we fit it in?
We do need one more. There you go.
Tremors.
There you go. Done.
But that means we have to watch all of the Tremor movies.
I rented the second one today, dude.
16 of them.
I rented the second one today, so this weekend, done deal.
1.
Whoa! Flip! I didn't think this was going to happen that soon. So 1 is we took on a subject that we both conflict on, or both has talked about, I guess, or debated on even in the past.
What we decided last time was we were going to flip a coin, which I guess you can do. Should I grab a small coin?
This pre-prepared coin. You can flip it. You're the host.
I'm not good at flipping coins.
Oh, yeah. I want to see this, actually. You can flip it.
I'll grab a smaller one.
No.
Here we go.
But what we're going to talk about? Okay, so I love Star Trek. As you've heard this episode, Hamish loves Stargate.
Yeah.
And we've had discussions before on which one's better, with both of us not really having watched much of the other thing. So that's going to be a real fun episode.
I think I've watched more Star Trek than you've watched Stargate.
Hey, I've watched the original Stargate movie. And one episode that you showed me.
Yeah, but I've watched a season and a half of the latest Star Trek show on Netflix.
That's not the best, though.
And I've watched bits and pieces from... And you learn a lot, a little bit from that about some of the Star Trek history and stuff.
Should we even talk about this? I feel like I need to watch Stargate more. Should we just talk about Predestination, which is one of my favourite films?
Too much of both of them.
Very true. I think that's an age-old.
Or there's
There's Predestination, which is one of my favourite films ever.
But that's not a conflicting... Oh, it is sort of. You absolutely love.
It's like my favourite thing.
And I absolutely hate it.
Sci-fi film. I showed it to Hamish, and he just hated it. Let's talk about Predestination.
It was like the worst way to break it to you, because
good.
we watched it and I was just sort of like,
and I was just in awe of it again. I was like, this is so good.
And I didn't want to tell you, and then you saw my review on it, like you saw my star rating of it, and you were just like shattered.
It's just, I don't understand it.
I
still don't understand it to this day. Hamish, I can't.
I don't know.
Should we? I didn't even want to do this. Can we just roll again?
We could, but that's cheating.
Okay.
We could cut it out. We'll just edit it out.
Yeah,
We could?
No, let's do it. We have to. Let's do an episode on Predestination.
Okay. But do we want to?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Predestination... No, we're flipping the coin. That's how we decide.
Okay.
Heads...
Predestination.
Tails, Star Trek, and...
Star shows.
Yeah, Star shows. Ow.
That was like a trick. It was off your head.
Yeah. See, I told you I was bad. Okay, so you obviously don't know what's going on. I flipped the coin up too high and it hit my head and fell on the ground.
Yeah.
But
what was it?
No, we're going to do it again.
Is that because it was Predestination?
Yeah.
Wait, no, that's not how it works.
No, it hit the ground.
It was hit.
I'm going to catch it and hit, like...
What? Okay, yeah. Okay.
If I had caught that... Yeah.
You got it.
There we go. Tails.
Okay. Next episode, we're going to be talking about Star Trek and Stargate. This is going to be myself on Team Star Trek, Hamish on Team Stargate.
Okay, so we're probably not going to go super well, we probably will a little bit, but we're not going to prepare a lot, I don't think.
I think we're just going to talk about why each of us love those worlds and those shows.
Yeah, we are wanting to talk about certain... Like, if we're talking about, like, a show that we both like, one particular show, we will probably try... go real in depth and do actually a little bit of research, and we'll but this is just more about us trying to convince the other that this show is better than their show.
Well, that it's worth giving a shot.
Yeah, or it's worth giving a shot. Yeah, I'm so gonna own this, I think. Just thinking about it, because Stargate isn't as old as like
dude,
so it's a lot easier to watch.
I think you'll be in the minority.
Okay.
Vote in the poll on our Twitter this week, and let's get ready for
I just realising we're already starting to argue. Well, I am.
This is a bad idea. Oh, well, we'll see you guys next episode.
Whenever that is.